Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning here on Motivated Strength. I'm your host, Shane Schultz. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way, you can take on life's challenges as they are, but more importantly, as you are right now. Now, if you happen to be new to the show, I want to say thank you for taking the time to see what we're doing here. What we do on Motivated Strength is that we utilize what I call the optimal frame of mind. The optimal frame of mind is a higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking can lead you to a higher level of living. Doesn't that sound nice? Now, when we're going through the challenges and struggles that we might be going through, and let me preface this in the first place, I've dealt with challenges. I've dealt with clinical depression. I've dealt with borderline personality disorder. I've dealt with PTSD. I've dealt with codependency. I've dealt with addiction. And I'm currently dealing with chronic nerve pain. So I know what it's like to have a number of challenges. Here's the thing. I knew that I needed to make a change in my life. And I'll tell you why. Because I suffered too long. I suffered too long. There was times as to where suffering brought me to that imaginary line where not only was I in depression, not only was I in pain, but I was literally believing that taking my own life off this earth was not only a possibility, but the only answer. Maybe that's something maybe you might have gone through yourself. Now, here's the thing. I can tell you this, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. I can tell you that there is answers that are out there. There are ways of being able to think. There are ways to be able to find yourself getting through what it is that you're going through, to be able to have a life that you can be happy about, that you can be proud of, that you can enjoy, that you can endure through what it is that you're going through. See, I know that there's a lot of different challenges that are out there. You know, whether it be chronic pain, chronic illness, mental illness. I know that there are things out there. And yes, I know there are a lot of things out there that don't have a cure. Right now, they don't have a cure. And here's the reality of the situation. You may not have a cure within your lifetime. But do you want to just merely exist on this earth as opposed to live for who it is that you are? See, I know what it's like in order to merely exist, and it's not all that fun. I can tell you that for 2 years, I did not feel my heartbeat for over 2 years. That means that I was only merely existing. Now, of course, it was beating, but I didn't feel it, right? That's what it is that we're talking about. That's what we're trying to get across when it comes to motivated strength. We're trying to bring you to feeling something again. Listen, Motivated Strength is on the Speaking the Heart Radio Network because they are all about from our heart to yours, right? From our heart to yours, it makes a difference. It gets us going again. It gets our purpose and our passion rolling again. Now, here's the thing. When we're going through the challenges and struggles that I talk about every single day, it's not the easiest thing to think about, getting ourselves going again. It's not the easiest thing to think about what is realistic and what is really going to help us. Speaking about being realistic, we're doing quotes from the actor Will Smith this week. All right. He happens to be a mentor of mine. Now, I've never seen him personally, but I have done a lot of study in regards to his way of thinking. His way of thinking of being able to inspire not only himself, but also for others. And I can tell you this, I know that it worked for me. I know it works for me in a number of different ways. So let's see if it works for you. Now, the quote that we're going to be talking about today is that realistic, right? We've mentioned realistic a few times already today. Being realistic or normal is the most common path to mediocrity. Let me say that again. Being realistic or normal is the most common path to mediocrity. Why am I saying that? Because I hear it all the time from people that are asking me to help them. I just want to be normal again. I just want to be a normal person. I just want to feel normal again. Now, here's what I can tell you is normal sucks. Normal is not all that cracked up to be, okay? It is being alive that is what you're looking for. Being alive and being thriving, that's what it is that you're looking for. Now, yes, there is contentment right? Contentment, that's a different story. That's not normal. That's not realistic, because there's contentment because that's in your control. You're content where it is that you are, versus being normal. Well, then there's a limitation, isn't there? Being realistic, there's certainly a limitation. In fact, Will Smith talks about realistic views finding itself in the history of what it is that has happened over the years. Think about it. If we were talking about being realistic, would we have a tin can that would go ahead from state to state or even across the ocean? Yeah, that's the airplane. If we were thinking about being realistic, would the airplane ever been designed? Would have ever been come to fruition as to where now we can utilize that for our own travels? Is that possible? Probably not. Now, if we're talking about Thomas Edison, think about it. Thomas Edison brought up the light bulb, right? The light bulb. How many times did he fail doing that? Think about it. He failed numerous times. I don't know the exact number, but I've heard numbers like around 900 and something. And what he said was, I didn't fail 900 plus times. What I did is I found 900 plus ways of not inventing the light bulb. That's what he said. You know, and the thing is that if he was being realistic, do you think that he might have stopped at around the 10th time that he failed? Or maybe the 100th time that he failed? Would anybody have expected him to go past 100 times? In fact, to go past 100 times, would people start, criticizing him? Would they start stigmatizing him? Because he kept going and he kept moving towards that solution that he was looking for. I always talk about here on the show, stop tripping into your problems and start stepping into your solutions. How many times have we talked about where we trip into our problems? How many times have we talked about where we find ourselves being hit by the blind side? How many times did we talk about last week where we need to find a way to be able to start over? And it's okay to do so because we learned that, hey, you know what? There's not much else to do. If you don't start over, then you merely exist. Is that what it is that we want to do? Of course not. We want to live. We want to have fun. We want to enjoy life the best way that we know how, despite the challenges that we have. See, when you're sitting there and you're being realistic, the likelihood of depression is not going to be easy to deal with. The likelihood of chronic pain is not something that you're going to be able to conquer. The likelihood of chronic illness, hell, for those who deal with Lyme disease, think about this. Lyme disease is something that is like this big enigma that is out there that nobody knows why the hell it's there. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. There's different types of Lyme disease. There's different scenarios in regards to Lyme disease. There's different statistics in regards to Lyme disease. Think about it. If we're going to be realistic, we just throw our hands up and say, you know what? I don't know what to do. Can't figure it out. Hopefully there's somebody out there who's saying that realistic is way overrated. Normal is way overrated. Because that person is going to find the cure. That person is going to be able to help you be able to become what it is that you're meant to be versus what it is that you merely might exist to be while dealing with Lyme disease. Think about this. The idea of being normal, I get it. I understand. I just want to be normal. I just want to be like everybody else. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to really be normal. They want to be more than that, but they'll settle. They'll settle. And when you settle, I promise you, you're putting a ceiling right above your head because you're not going to go any further. You're going to get stuck. You're going to spin your wheels. You're going to bang your head on top of that ceiling. See, what we do at Motivated Strength, we utilize that optimal frame of mind to crash through the ceiling. So when we crash through the ceiling, we find other ways, other levels that we can find to be more than the challenges that we face so that we can take those challenges like chronic pain, like chronic illness, like mental illness, and we can make it a percentage of our life versus a consumption of our life. Let me tell you something. If we were looking at things realistically or normally, I promise you that percentage would be a hell of a lot bigger because our limitations would be a hell of a lot more. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that while we're going through these struggles and these challenges together, because we're a community, right? It's not just about me, myself, and I talking in front of this camera. It's about a community. Listen, we have over 770 people right now who are working hard to be more than the challenges that we face, are working hard to be who it is that we are meant to be, as opposed to who we might merely exist to be. It's so that we can find a way to be who it is that we want to be. See, when we say the word want, how many times do you talk about being realistic? How many times do you talk about normal? No. When we say the word want, when we have control over that, when we want something, it's normally above that realistic. It's normally above that normal. It's normally above what it is that we could always get to. We want more, don't we? And especially you who's dealing with those challenges and struggles, because I've said this numerous times, you are more resilient. You have more purpose. You have more passion than what anybody who doesn't have these types of challenges go through. Because you have found a way in order to be able to still move forward while dealing with what you're dealing with. Do you have tough times? Yes, you do. You have times as to where the tears are rolling down your eyes. You have times as to where you cannot move. You have times as to where you lash out at somebody. There's definitely going to be those times. But I promise you this, if you utilize the optimal frame of mind in your everyday working way, I promise you, you will have a leading life more than an existing one. You will start leading instead of just merely following. You will start leading to where it is that you want to be, where you crash through that ceiling, where you find what it is that your purpose is, so that you can be what it is that you're meant to be versus what you may merely exist to be. Listen, we do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way you can take on life's challenges as they are, but more importantly, as you are right now. You know, we're talking about like doctor appointments, being effective with them. We're talking about being in your group sessions and part of the solution as opposed to the problem. We're talking about, going to your therapist and saying, what is it that can help me so you can help me get to where it is that I want to be? These are the things that will help you get to a higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking will lead you to that higher level of living that you're looking for, not only for yourself, but also for others. Listen, I love likes, whether it be on Instagram, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on YouTube. I really do. I really enjoy them. But I gotta tell you, comments allow me to be able to interact with you. They allow me to be able to go one-on-one with you, to be able to help you, be able to tear things around so as to help you get to where you need to be so that you can start utilizing the optimal frame of mind in your life, so that you can use the optimal frame of mind in your world to be able to make a difference for you. All right, listen, we do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can be the best you that you can be, not only for yourself, but also for others. Hope you have an extraordinary day. We'll talk to you again soon.